Hello, everyone, or most everybody. Hey, I'm here with Chad and Sparkles, and maybe Rory, the ghost of Rory. The void is calling us and calling himself Rory.
There's a theoretical Rory on this show. It's Schrodinger's Rory.
Yeah, we got that. We got Joe Lewis also trying to come on the call tonight. So we're talking wrestling. We're talking WWE NXT 11, 13, 14. Sami Zayn's road to the championship, I hope, because he keeps losing every time we see him.
Yep, that's the story that they're telling. You have correctly identified the storyline through which I am guiding you.
Yeah, because he's the common thread. Either him or maybe the Lucha Dragons. They show up in every episode we watch so far too.
Well,
Yeah, but the first one, it wasn't even the correct Lucha Dragons. Sorry, what were you saying, Sparkles?
The thing that's cool about WWE on all levels is they always pay off exactly what you think is going to happen. They never leave anybody hanging. They never start storylines and just end them out of nowhere with no explanation. So yeah, whatever you think is going to happen is probably going to happen because the WWE would never screw over anybody.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what we watch it for, is the predictability.
Mm-hmm. As long as you just assume that whatever it is that you want to happen, they're going to do the opposite. Most of the time, it's going to work.
Yeah.
Chad, did you see the most recent? I think it was the most recent Botchamania where somebody put together.
I have never watched a whole Botchamania episode ever.
Really?
Yep.
Hey,
That's
Ray,
like
I am aware that it exists.
Can't hear you, Joe.
That's one of the most insane.
Oh, kind of. You can barely hear you.
Oh
yes.
my god! I think we hear you, Joe.
Okay. How about this?
Aha!
Yeah.
I heard it, Joe.
It's a little bit of a delay, but I can hear you.
I'm gonna do it like this then.
Cool. So, Joe, are you a big wrestling guy? We know that Chad is. We know Sparkles is. You can tell by his name. Joe, you watch a lot of wrestling?
Not really. This wrestling I've watched in. Don't attack me.
You're cutting out a lot.
Oh no.
Keep working on it.
Chad, I don't want to be the I can't believe you don't like Radiohead guy, but I mean, Botchamania was made for you. Like,
I also don't like Radiohead.
I know, but you know what I mean. Like it's borderline offensive that you haven't watched the whole Botchamania. But anyway, somebody put an interview together. It was like the interview where Vince McMahon was talking to JR about how Bret Hart screwed Bret Hart, and they made it about Vince McMahon's retirement, and it was him saying like Vince screwed Vince, then it was like Vince screwed every person. But oh my god.
According to all those non-disclosure agreements and $1 million payouts, Vince screwed a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just learned from Sparkles yesterday that Vince McMahon tore both of his quads running into the ring. I didn't get off that video yet. That's right out of the video that night.
Yeah.
How about?
Oh.
We heard you say "how about."
Yeah. So we can
is
get
it
for a
still?
couple seconds at a time.
Mm.
We get that. Heard, runs. Oh, here comes Rory. Blackout. No.
Basically, I think what it means is when you're talking, you need to say everything that you need to say in roughly 1.5 seconds is what you got.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
There's that.
we can't actually tell which of the 1.5 seconds is the part that we can hear and the part that we can't. Sorry, Joe.
So just start talking and don't stop. We'll catch some of it.
Blah,
And then
blah,
we'll
blah,
try
blah.
and figure out all the rest.
Now it's a
Blah,
delay.
blah,
I think it's
It's a delay.
now.
It's cool.
Just a little bit of a delay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we heard you say blah 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 blah, but your mouth was not moving.
Have you ever heard the song "Blah Blah Blah" by Porn Theater Ushers?
Oh, I never heard of them.
I think I did hear that song.
It's pretty fun.
I forgot about them.
They are a group that I literally only remember because of their
Here's
name.
Rory.
Hey.
Hey, we can see
Hey.
Rory and we can hear him.
Yeah.
Say,
Oh, he's a
so
ticker.
for the first time, Google Chrome has failed me, and I had to go on with Microsoft Edge.
Ooh.
Ooh, the edge.
Yeah.
Yeah. You think you know me?
On the stage, I see clearly.
That Alter Bridge
Yes,
featuring the guitarist of Creed, I believe.
I honestly have no idea who's in Alter Bridge.
I think that was like the guy from Creed left, and he was like, "I want to do something different and like edgier," and it was like,
Wrong window. That's
Well, I guess that's how they made sure it was edgier. Working with
I-
Edge from WWE.
I get it.
good show. We'll be back soon. So yeah. Sparkles, I don't know if you know. We've been watching Sami Zayn's is his road to the championship. I think
Mhm.
from 2014. I guess that's when it happened.
Yeah, and the most recent episode that we watched, November 13th, 2014. This was an episode of NXT that was just one of the regular 1 hour episodes. Uh, the commentators were Alex Riley, Jason Albert, and Rich Brennan. Alex Riley, for the record, is the worst.
Is he
Which one
the
of
big
them?
guy with it? Yeah.
Baron Underbite.
No. That's Jason Albert. He's great.
Okay.
He's actually very shortly after this, he gets promoted to be the head coach down at NXT because the guy who they were talking about in this episode that was the head coach would very soon be fired for basically just abusing the shit out of all of his trainees.
Is that the number one reason that people get fired out of coaching anything? I think probably just the abuse.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's not the number one reason why people get fired from WWE though.
Oh, okay.
That
In
that, would, that
WWE
would be budget cuts.
Oh,
Yeah, in the WWE, especially in the 80s and 90s, the number one reason for getting fired was you disagreed with Vince McMahon on anything. He's like,
Like
"Oh,
the
you don't
ability to
agree? Fired." Yeah.
let's check in with Joe real quick. Joe, how you doing?
Still
See ya.
poorly.
Okay, we heard you there.
Yeah.
That was fair. Yeah.
We know that you're doing poorly. That was a word we could make out.
Hold on.
Oh,
And
here we go
and
again.
you are on, sir.
And now you're
There you
Well,
go.
now you're off.
Okay,
that comedic timing that Joe
Yeah.
Lewis is famous for.
that's it. That's what he's. Yeah, he's an expert at that.
So during the first match of the night, uh, Tyson Kidd and Justin Gabriel versus Finn Balor and Hideo Itami. Alex Riley and Jason Albert are the two guys that are arguing with each other about respect and whether or not training in Japan is something that teaches you respect, or
Right.
whether As soon as you come to WWE, you need to be like, well, everyone else that's already here knows more than me, and fuck all of my other experiences. Uh, the guy who is in favor of saying like, oh, you got to pay your dues in WWE. It doesn't matter what you've done anywhere else. Is
Yeah.
Alex Riley, who's
Uh,
never wrestled anywhere out of the WWE system. Whereas
But he
Chase
doesn't.
now,
He doesn't have to because he learned everything here,
yes,
and that's the thing about like training in Japan, is that it's not the WWE,
mhm.
and that's the only thing that matters to those commentators.
Well, that's the
Except
only thing that matters to the guy whose job it is to be a obnoxious douchebag. The
I'm
fat
sorry,
dude
which
sitting
Chad,
next to him
which
is
guy in the WWE is his sole job to be an obnoxious douchebag? Because it feels like a lot of people are helping whoever that guy is to be an obnoxious douchebag. Like,
did
if you
anyone
have
clock it?
any three guys, one of them is going to be him.
It's true. No, yeah,
Chad,
100%.
there's one other guy where it doesn't matter. The
Well,
Rock.
he doesn't really work for WWE anymore.
Oh, but I was just thinking it doesn't matter. So
Oh, okay.
that was one of his
You gotta sell
catchphrases.
it. You gotta sell it.
It
Yeah,
doesn't
no,
matter. I was waiting for Chad to do
that's
it.
how you do it.
Yeah.
While putting a T, I was
if you
putting
don't
a
sell
T.
it, your punchline doesn't matter.
Oh, it's facing a T, a ball and a T, and Chad whiffed. So let's get mad at Chad for not getting the ball that I set up on the tee for him.
I thought you were setting yourself up.
No, I said the Rock. I was like the Rock, and then you're like, yeah, but he doesn't work for them anymore.
Yeah, I was expecting you to interrupt me.
Oh,
We all had a lot of expectations
No,
going
let's-
into that bit,
You know-
and none of them came through.
I thought you were doing the self alley oop.
David, we've had a good run here, but
Yeah.
it's become clear that this has completely broken down. We can't even agree on whose joke is being fucked up. Let's just call it quits.
Yeah, it's just a reminder. I don't think I guys clocked this in the final match. The commentators, one of them was saying something, and the other one was like, "Don't interrupt me," and then kept saying whatever it was he was saying. So that was,
Yeah,
That's-
Alex Riley was
that's
probably
it.
the one who said,
Yeah.
"Don't interrupt me."
so,
wait, was Austin
Yeah.
was he doing was Alex Riley doing commentary at this time, Chad? Am I understanding that correct?
Yes, he was doing commentary in this episode.
Wow.
He was on and off because NXT at the time was trying to figure out what the best three-person booth was going to be. Shortly after this, they settle on Corey Graves, Byron Saxton, and either Rich Brennan or who's the Tom
I can hear
Phillips,
you
the
all,
other one.
Joe.
Oh, yeah.
Like they swap back and forth between Brennan and Phillips, but Corey and Byron become like sort of the standard guys. At this point, they're still trying to figure it out, and Alex Riley will shortly leave commentary to go back to being a wrestler, and then shortly thereafter get fired. And a few
Yeah.
years after he gets fired, he will appear on Netflix's Glow and have sex with Betty Gilpin.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
I mean,
Joe, hi.
Yeah.
Oh, Joe. Hello.
Did you just say hello, Joe?
I said hello to Joe.
Oh, dang. I thought that was Joe saying hello.
Yeah.
He was the Alex Riley was the Mrs. Valet for a while, right, Chad?
Yes.
Okay, so the first match we had tonight was that was Finn Balor, Hideo Itami, and Tyson Kidd and Justin Gabriel. Right.
I really like that match.
Yeah.
I think the thing that I'm finding here is like those short throwaway matches that they do at the beginning of their set,
Mhm.
because they're faster paced. They actually like have technically better choreography, or choreography, however it's pronounced.
Who knows?
So like it's faster, but there's no like downtime for where you're like, just hit the guy. You've got it. If you just stand up and kick him right now, it's over. So I had a lot of fun with that one.
Yeah, that was a lot of guys who really excel at sort of just sprinting and hitting moves
Yeah.
very quickly.
So a question about Finn Balor. So his whole thing is that he's Irish, I think, and that he gets in the ring and before he starts, he does like a crouching
His whole
wingspan. Like,
his whole thing is that he is a drama kid.
oh, okay.
Like later when we won't see this on this run of NXT,
Oh,
but if
okay.
we ever come back to it later, you may see that when he performs on the bigger shows, he likes to have like fancy dress costumes
Ooh.
with weird like uh crafted red and black dreadlocks and face paint and like he's a drama kid.
Is he ever
like-
one of the vaudevillains? Because that's something else I want to get to tonight.
No,
It's
no,
one of
that's a
those
completely different kind of drama kid.
guys. Oh,
I
Like,
forgot about them.
I felt like when I was watching his entrance and whatnot, it was like he started out being like, I'm gonna be the Batman wrestler, and I'll come in dressed as Batman. Like, I've got like the cape move and everything, and then like he put on the Bat costume and was like, I can't. Maybe if I just take off like the sleeves, then it'll work. Maybe if I take off the chest, and like it got to the point where he's got the Batman briefs, the Batman boots, and now he can do all the moves. And he's been Batwar in my
yeah. That explains like his whole thing.
yeah.
Like I can see that if you're in the Batman costume, it makes more sense. Yeah. And Tyson Kidd, his
Theater
whole thing
kid
yeah.
is what I meant to say. Sorry.
Right. Yeah, that's what I think. The theater kids, the vaudevillains whole thing. Is the theater
Yeah,
kid.
he's like if a theater kid got like super buff.
Yeah.
Like if the lead singer of Panic at the Disco just got like super jacked overnight.
Like the Joker.
Mhm.
Like
Oh, so he did go from Batman to Joker. Cool.
Yeah.
And then all the way to Harley Quinn. That's
yeah, it's like a mashup.
Little of columns A, B, and C.
I'm glad that he walked away from the Irish part though, because like if I have to think like what just at a first glance, what is going to make me think somebody is prone to fighting? Is
Right.
it going to be drama kid or Irish guy? I'm going to pick drama kid every single time. Like the Irish aren't known for any kind of fisticuffs or
They're
wrestling
famously
or
very calm and measured in everything they do.
they're
Yeah.
calm.
That's how we describe
they're-
the drama kids. Yes.
They're reasonable and they they just aren't. They're also very intelligible.
Mhm.
You know.
Well spoken.
Yeah,
Well
not like
spoken
drama kids.
teetotalers, a lot of
Yeah.
them.
Exactly. Drama kids, they're a bunch of mush mouths and ready to fight at the drop of a hat.
I could see Vince McMahon like bringing Finn Balor into the office and saying, "Look, we already have a Sheamus. Just back off on the whole Irish thing, all right? Like it's like when I think Gilbert Gottfried said one time David Steinberg brought him into the office on a film they were shooting and told him to do the last scene less Jewy, like less Jewy. It's like, all right, like yeah, I think Vince McMahon might have told him, more drama kid, less Irish. How many more Sheamuses can we have?
Well,
The funny
I
thing is, if you saw the ladies' match later, Becky Lynch was accompanying Sasha. This was very shortly after she changed her gimmick into no longer weird Irish jig dancing woman. because that was how she appeared a few weeks prior to this. She did that for 2 weeks, and then they immediately said, "No, we need to do something different with you."
It's fun to let her try it though. I'm glad they said, okay, well that's your idea. Go for it. You get 2 weeks to try it. Yeah,
I do love the idea though that it's always the wrestlers coming up with what their shtick is, and no writers are helping them. It's just them being like, "What if this was my thing?" And they're like, "Yeah, run with that. No more jigging. You stop being Irish. You stop dancing.
Mask.
You wear more colorful costumes. We can
It's
never
pretty-
have enough luchadors. It's fine."
That's true.
Mhm. That
Have
part's
you-
true though.
Have you ever seen like I'm sure Chad has, but the Tough Enough, which was kind of like how Ultimate Fighter UFC has the Ultimate Fighter. It's like a reality show where they find new. Actually, that's kind of how NXT started. NXT was like the where they would wrestle after going to the training and all that, but it was kind of sad because they had one of the things they would have to do is come up with a gimmick, like halfway through the season, and like the wardrobe they had for the NXT guys were like pretty limited. So it always ends up with one guy like, I'm the guy that wears denim. Like,
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I heard
Yeah,
you.
there
I
you
heard
go.
you.
hey,
Finally.
And you got yeah.
Is it still delayed or no? No.
A little bit, yeah. It's not quite syncing up with your video.
No, it's definitely not syncing. You kind of look like one of those old kung fu movie guys.
Look, we're doing like an
No.
I
old
think there
timey.
might be something wrong with your ceiling fan.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
Ooh.
stuttering a little bit. It
Yeah.
looks like it's trying to remix.
That's very cool.
do you remember that?
No, it's fine, Joe.
No,
You
don't
don't
put your
have
hand
to.
in there. No.
You don't have to mess with your ceiling fan. We're just joking around about the video stutter.
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you remember that though,
I
Chad? I
see.
think it was maybe the last time they did Tough Enough, which is where the Velveteen Dream was one of the guys. That, of course, that wasn't his name on there, but they had.
What was his
I think
deal?
somebody was like, "I'm the one that wears pink." Like they just ran out of costume. That's kind of. It's got to be how it is on the minor league
Yeah,
wrestling.
do they do like on those episodes of Whose Line Is It Anyway, where they just have like a box full of junk and you just grab
Yeah,
it?
kind of. It kind of is like that. It's like, yeah, they just go into the closet and they're like, hey, come up with a gimmick from all this crap that nobody else wanted. And they're like,
I mean,
yeah,
I'm envisaging like, all right, you guys want to be wrestlers? Your first training mission is go rob photo booths. Take all of their props. That's going to be our costumes.
King.
Yeah. Like how much of the reality show was like the like Drag Race or something where they had spent a lot of time like sewing together the costumes and things. So I assume that's got to be part of it.
not
Not
too
enough.
much of that. Yeah, I wanted more of that personally. You did get to see some of the guy that Chad was talking about who got fired for yelling at the wrestlers. You
Mhm.
get to see a lot of verbal abuse. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, wrestlers, you can't yell at wrestlers.
Yeah.
Showing the respect.
What was
They're too
one of them
sensitive.
was Hugh Morris, right? Chad was one of the guys that got fired for that.
Yes. Well, not just yelling. He also physically abused people. When Miro
Oh,
had a
nice.
broken neck and he had his neck like the halo thing,
Ah,
whenever whenever he would get up, whenever Demott got upset at him, he would grab him by the halo and shake him,
No.
which is a good way to kill a guy
Yeah.
yeah,
who has a broken neck.
That's not okay.
that was another great gimmick. By
Wow.
the way. That wrestler in WCW was known as Hugh Morris, and he just laughed. He just laughed all the time because he was Hugh Morris.
And then
Oh.
later he joined
Uh,
the fake wrestling military and became General Hugh Rection. Hugh G. Rection.
Chad, if next time I'm able to come on here, we should play a game where you and I
it
come
should
up
have been,
with like,
generally, it should have been a major. Go on.
yeah. Well, they had a major. They did have a major. What was the
Guns.
girl's name, Chad? Yeah, Major
Major
Gun.
Guns.
She had big boobs.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. There you go.
And
No, Chad,
Booker T is GI Bro.
you and I should come up with gimmicks next time and see if Rory and David can choose the correct ones and the ones we made up ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Like that.
Because there's some garbage ass gimmicks.
I'm gonna go ahead and say I feel like the gimmick of the guy who comes out in the neck halo, that one should have been used. Like
Yeah.
the guy that's like the Mr. Glass version of just like, I'm gonna wrestle you, but if you hit me, I'm gonna die.
Well, you know, they did have a mentally retarded character, so why not have a crippled guy?
He could
I
come
mean,
out
they had a guy
on
with
a
one leg.
stretcher.
Well, yeah, that's true. They did have a guy with one leg. That was a real guy, though.
Yeah, he really only had one leg. That wasn't like a gimmick.
He didn't just have his leg tied
It wasn't
up
like he
behind him.
pulled one off
Well, because they did do
for
that
every
with
show.
they did do that with Georgiano Steel back in the I heard like in the 70s that they would have him rip off fake limbs of jobbers and start eating them.
What if he attached to one of those like IV things and you just beat somebody with it? Just
Have you guys ever seen that botching match of the guy who doesn't have like legs or arms or something, and like he actually does a pretty good job.
No, I've never.
How? Without arms, does he do good?
He doesn't have like this part of his arms, but he has like this part.
Oh, okay.
So he's just, like, throwing elbows, but it's like he also doesn't have legs, so like he's just like scampering after the guy, throwing elbows. But like no professional fighter is used to just like railing on a guy that doesn't have legs. So like you see him sitting there being like, how do I legally hit this guy? And then he's all over him. Like,
also, I gotta imagine that guy's probably a lot stronger than anyone who's in his weight class.
Oh yeah.
Well,
strength.
Well, that's funny because
great.
No, go ahead, Joe.
Oh, that upper body strength got to be up.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happened when I was sharing the inspirational story a few years ago that there was that amateur championship wrestler who didn't have any arms or legs; he just had nubs. And I remember telling people about it. And this one guy, I don't remember who it was, but a coworker or something was like, "Kind of unfair because he has better leverage and
lower center of gravity."
They were like blaming him for having to work on his upper body. They're like, yeah.
Also,
a bit unfair about it.
Like, it's a lot easier for him to make weight at those low levels because, like, he can't get the cookies on the top shelf. Like, that's a temptation that everybody else has to deal with, and he doesn't.
Yeah,
it's true. Stuff they don't want you to know about, right, Rory?
Exactly. And like you name one other professional fighter that gets to sit down during a match and just take a timeout whenever he wants.
Yeah.
Guy without legs is the only one. So he's got more energy. He's using less energy because he doesn't have any legs. He's got all of that unfair leverage, all of that unfair no access to snacks. Like
it's pretty much immune to most submission moves.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like, have you ever tried to do that wrist thing on a guy that doesn't have wrists?
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. There's really only one submission move you can do to that guy: headlock. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the only way.
And that's not going to look good on Google. Like when people are looking up, if you're just headlocking a guy who doesn't have arms, like
it's just going to look like you're carrying around part of a corpse.
Yeah.
Now I'm the bad. This guy's kicking my ass around. I put him in a headlock. I'm the asshole now.
Like I walked
into the ring. What was I supposed to?
I walked into the ring and I looked like a wrestler. I walked out and I looked like an inner city cop. Like, this is not the way I want to go.
Yeah, it's really
Uh,
unfair to be
When I
surprised that you're
left the ring,
opponent.
when I left from my body cam footage.
True, I mean, if you have the body cam at the right angle, you can be kicking the crap out of them and no one will tell. If you point it at
Oh,
the
no.
top of a car or something.
Oh yeah, just like point your upper body upwards
Yeah.
because he's going to be outside of the frame of the camera. And you just kick.
Like,
I'd
I'm
imagine.
now I'm envisioning that camera like going up, and then people would be like, "Well, what happened?" And then you just see the guy. In and out of- Damn it!
Choke slamming that. That'd
Yeah.
be terrible too. I think we're awful human beings. I think
Yeah.
we can all agree.
You watch enough wrestling, it just rots your brains.
Yeah.
It makes you
Mhm.
a degenerate.
It's all that
Awesome.
violence.
Yeah. So I was watching the episode in the living room, and when I was over, I went into the bedroom where my wife was watching something on her iPad to let her know, okay, I'm done watching wrestling. You can come out now and live your life in our home. She was laying on the bed, and it's like I had the urge to just like grab her and then start doing wrestling moves on her. I've just been watching people do that. I'm like, oh yeah, to manhandle another human body.
Yeah, I'm done, honey. I'm done watching wrestling, so it's safe to come outside now. But before you come into the living room, I just want tap out. You better tap out.
While you're in this room with a soft surface,
Exactly.
I'm gonna want
Thinking
to
about it.
slam you into something.
It's true though, because like Kenzo will come running at me, all excited to like tell me about something, and like my foot just comes up like it wants like. Unlike a wrestler, Kenzo will just stop and not run directly into my foot.
Yeah.
But the instinct is there. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
Oh,
a credit to Kenzo.
he's gonna take up boxing or something.
Yeah. There's a fun thing to do, just do wrestling with some little kids. I love it.
Well,
Yeah.
also, I don't think that he would really excel at wrestling because he has arms and legs.
those are handicap.
Well, just because he's starting at a handicap doesn't mean that he can't grow to be something better.
That's true. Like, I'll just start slamming car doors randomly and get him where he wants to be in life.
Give him a chance.
Yeah.
Wait, so the women's match in this episode was was Sasha Banks versus Alexa Bliss. We've seen Sasha Banks pretty much every episode. But we never see her wrestle. She just comes out and kicks people after the match is over.
And you've seen Alexa Bliss before too.
Yeah, she always gets her ass kicked.
They like every time she shows up in the episodes that I've showed you, they're like, she's got a win over main roster diva Alicia Fox. And that's the only talking point that they have about her, because other than that, she's lost every match.
Oh,
Is that just because she's new? I know they
Because
mentioned
she
that
got legs.
Or yeah,
You noticed them. Don't act
Yeah.
like you didn't.
Mhm.
just kicking them around. I was
But
thinking
yeah,
watching her come
she's
in-
at this point still new. She has a personality, I guess, but
Yes.
not like a full gimmick yet.
Yeah,
She'll be coming into that sooner or later.
like she smiles and she's got glitter and kind of a cheerleader type outfit, but not really much past that. So I like that she's got a gimmick, but I don't really like her gimmick. Doesn't seem fleshed out.
The thing about the word gimmick is that wrestlers use it for two different to describe two different things.
Okay.
Your gimmick is your personality, your character, who you're trying to portray. But they also use the word gimmick to talk about like accessories and things that you carry around. So she doesn't have a gimmick, but she has a bunch of little gimmicks that
Yeah,
she
she's
has.
very carrot toppy in that way.
Yeah.
She's got stuff in her pockets.
Yeah, she has a bunch of props, but no personality yet.
Yeah.
I'm surprised she didn't do like a shtick or something with a
Yeah, I wanted to.
with a cheerleader outfit.
Yeah. I want some pom poms and like do a cheer.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like both her and the Sasha character are basically like the protagonist and antagonist from any cheerleader movie. Like, they're the nice hot girl and the mean hot girl, and they don't get along for reason.
Right. Plot reasons.
Yeah.
To be fair, 90% of WWE women's feuds are nice hot girl versus mean hot girl.
I'd say even on the men's side, it's nice hot guy versus mean hot guy.
Well, no, some
Yeah.
guys are ugly.
I think all men are beautiful in their own way.
I feel like your point would be accurate if it was nice guy with thinning hair and mean guy with thinning hair.
I think it's a steroid thing.
Because I feel like of the wrestlers that we've seen so far, Sami Zayn is the only one that seems like he has a healthy head of hair, and he's also the only one that looks like he's drank a 12-pack within the last
with any
month.
body hair too.
Yeah.
That's something I like about him.
It's too bad that you won't get to see commentator Jason Albert with no shirt on then.
Oh yeah.
Because
Well, we
he
have
looks
the
like he's definitely had several 12 packs and has body hair.
Yeah, when they showed them, I was like, wow, that guy looks like he's built like Donkey Kong. He's almost like a regular person. And there's like a giant gorilla man there.
Pat McAfee looked like he had a 12-pack before SummerSlam, like the night before SummerSlam. Like, he looked great in WrestleMania, but by the time SummerSlam came around, you could tell he didn't take it quite as seriously as the WrestleMania match. He almost fell over a couple times. Clearly wasn't ready.
Yeah.
I did respect that it actually looked like the cheerleader one got popped in the nose.
Oh,
and
yeah,
was, like, bleeding from the nose, and still nobody flinched or stopped. Like, there was a part of me that was like, help her, she actually got hurt.
There's like a certain level of blood that you have to hit before they're like, we need to actually take a look at this.
Right. I feel like nosebleeds are the most common, easiest way to start bleeding.
I would say that the most common wrestling blood that no one actually checks on or cares about is busted lips.
Oh yeah, that's
Like a lot of times you'll see people like midway through the match when they're like, "Argh!" Like you're like, oh, you've got blood on your teeth or lipstick. I'm not sure.
I suppose that's true. They're doing a lot of these like slams and aerial moves and whatnot, and they no mouth guard. Like,
oh yeah.
That's an easy thing to like. If I'm hungry, I'll bite my own lip. So these guys are.
Nothing works up your appetite like throw someone around a ring, triple suplex them.
I mean, I'll do that at a McDonald's if I'm not sure if I can make it all the way through a regular meal.
That is one disadvantage that the armless, legless wrestler had, was he bit his lip a lot because he was hungry from not being able to get the cookie.
Yeah.
But he was always bleeding from the mouth. So other than that.
Well,
yeah, it toughens up his lips.
Calories, right?
Yeah.
So
was he able to like spit the blood like a poison mist?
A classic move.
Combat.
Which is gonna suck for him in actual Mortal Kombat when he tries that move, because like he'll be like, "All right, here it comes." Oh, it's in my mask now. Put it on my hands. Pull up my mask.
So speaking of masks, we got the tag team match in this one. We got the Lucha Dragons. Officially, the two actual Lucha Dragons, maybe.
Yep.
But this two other people.
Yeah.
It's the ones that won the title, so it's the official Lucha Dragons.
I really like the Lucha Dragons, and I want the Lucha Dragons versus the Imada and Finn guy. Like, I just want to see that match. I will say that the Tyson Kid's wife,
Natalia or Natty.
Her acting is so fake that it makes her tits look real.
Natalia has a lot of issues with emoting like a human being, and dialogue's not great either. Like she's Canadian that grew up speaking English, not French Canadian.
Right.
But based on her line reads, you could be forgiven for thinking that English was her second language.
It almost feels like she got raised by professional wrestlers, and this level of emotion and reaction is normal to her, so she doesn't know that this is things that she should be reacting to.
Right.
She's just like, naked dudes are punching each other Tuesday.
Yeah.
She was raised by professional wrestlers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was Jim the Anvil Neidhart. I do blame WWE a little bit though, because she's still horrible at acting all these years later, and they still like zoom in on her when she's doing that like I'm shocked face. And they will not take the goddamn camera off her face while she's doing the same. What's happening? Look, and like don't have to film her for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Just one quick shot is good.
Yeah,
Also,
totally.
I know that they've sent people to acting classes before.
They have a whole movie studio.
Mhm.
That's something I want to talk about.
That's one thing that Tiffany brought up while we were watching last night. She's like, these wrestlers and the commentators are the only people that seem surprised by what's happening. Like, if you pan across like the entire audience, nobody's like, whoa! They're just like, yeah. But even though like every week I see these guys just be like, I didn't get to 3, they're still shocked that.
Sami Zayn has this move, the Blue Thunder Bomb, that they always call it out like it's the most devastating move in the world, and then he always looks absolutely mystified as to how it never works. It's never worked once in his career in WWE to this day, and he still looks like, what? How did they kick out?
Yeah, I'm gonna waste it.
Kind of guy.
I'm so flabbergasted that I'm gonna waste the next minute just staring into my hands as my opponent gains 100%
Yeah.
and kicks my ass.
Yeah, that's the drawback to the movie. It leaves you very vulnerable when it doesn't work because of your emotions.
Yeah, when counting doesn't go as high a number as you want it to, it's just traumatizing.
Yeah, because we know how counting is supposed to work. So when it doesn't work right, like that is feels weird.
Yeah.
So you gotta think about. I need to ask you guys something.
Okay.
Yeah, about tag team matches and how they work, and how is it that every time that there's a tag team match, is at some point where one guy's getting the crap beaten out of him by both of the other dudes in the other team, and his teammate is just like hanging onto the rope, like trying to reach him for the tag but can't come in, but the other two are allowed to be in there, and that's okay.
As long as they keep tagging. Like there's
okay.
a minimum. There's an amount of time where you're allowed to be in the ring at the same time after you tag, and the amount of time varies in terms of how long it takes for the wrestler, for the referee to count to that number.
So the referee's counting that whole time.
It's supposed to be 5, I think.
Chad, it depends on how awesome the move is that they have to do with each other. If it's a really elaborate move, you have to give them a few extra seconds to finish that move.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Also, it depends on their nationality too.
Oh, no.
Like Mexicans get a longer count.
Oh yeah,
Enough
it's,
Is that,
I
time to
mean,
do
is
it
that because the
3D.
ref has to count in Spanish?
Yeah, I think there's
yeah,
more
it takes longer.
to
It takes longer to say uno than it does to say one. You know, it's
Yeah. Quattro.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that.
But yeah, the whole thing where one guy is like reaching out and like, please, please, give me the tag me.
Yeah.
Like I know that you're halfway across the ring right now and you absolutely can't reach, but I'm stretching as far
I
as I
gotta show that
can.
I'm trying.
Yeah. That is one of those things where it's just like, oh, why does the main character of the movie make out with the female main character right before he goes to have a big fight? It's just like that's just how these things are written.
Yeah. I just want to know what the rules were. Why it was they were allowed to have two guys in there, and like that's okay.
Another
But
infuriating.
they keep resetting the clock on how long.
Mhm.
In the ring.
Another infuriating thing is when that guy, like, you know, it's usually when like if like John Cena is the partner and the other guy is like a mediocre wrestler,
Yeah.
that guy will be getting his ass kicked for like 15, 20 minutes, and the crowd's just waiting for Cena to get in there. And we've seen multiple times in tag team matches, like, hard thing to do is just jump off your side of the match if your guy's getting his ass kicked for a while, then just go to the other side
Yeah.
and beat those guys up over there and then go back to where you are. But they only do that like once every 10 matches. Like, oh wait, I can leave my post. I'm not.
Yeah, I can actually get closer to you. Actually,
I'm not gonna get.
That was the thing that I actually enjoyed about this tag team match is they showed him holding on to a rope, like he could go only as far as the rope would stretch, and I appreciated that. Or it's like, oh, there's some, but like I guess I also have the question of like, do the rules really matter ever? Because it seems like they don't.
In
Okay.
general,
The
it's
rules
just nullified in the middle of
rules
the match.
only matter in as much as a referee is willing to enforce them,
Yeah.
and most referees are not willing to enforce most rules.
No.
But the only people who understand that are considered bad guys. Good guys are like, I don't care whether or not you believe in this law. I have to follow all of them.
Yeah,
it's so funny when you
like a referee problem.
well, it's still when you grow up a wrestling fan and you see it like week after week, you don't notice certain things. But like when you think about certain things, it's just so like I'd say like at least twice a week a referee gets knocked out and they never just end the match. They always bring another referee out, and it's like they just like beat the shit out of the referee. Isn't that like a bad? Let's bring another one out. It's like no,
And you know it's gonna
They're
suck when you show
replaceable.
up to be like, yeah, I'm the ref for the match. Why is there a second ref here? Because we only need one. Fuck.
Yeah, it's like is there a referee?
Out.
Is there a secondary referee in the back of every match just waiting? Like,
Like
is he good? I gotta be ready to come out there at any time.
Oh, there's my gimmick's arch nemesis. Is the second ref that comes in after I'm beating up the wrestlers. The second ref jumps in and tries to ref me.
You're always going to have a little bit of time though, because the second ref is never ready to go at the drop of a hat.
Oh yeah.
Like they always have to like go and run to the locker room and then grab their ref shirt, get their clothes changed, and then run back out. Even though they were just reffing the match before this, they've already changed.
That's what's going to give me time to beat the real wrestlers up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and then you can put on a mustache and pretend to be a different ref. It's like, okay then.
Lucha ref.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's a shockingly underused trope is the corrupt referee. Like that's only happened a handful of times over the years. It's actually like a good. I actually love that, but I mean, it rarely happens. Ric Flair had a corrupt ref for a while. Charles Robinson, but other than that, I think the last one before that was a guy named Dangerous Danny Davis in the '80s who would just start throwing matches for guys he liked, and then ended up.
Wasn't Nick Patrick the NWO ref?
That's shit. I forgot about NWO had their own ref. So they had their own show, their own cameraman who could only film in black and white for some reason. Crazy.
They just wouldn't pay for color film
Yeah.
because they had to pay for all of their commercials.
Yeah, exactly.
So who all was in NWO? I've heard that being a big thing.
Oh my God, there's a never
Dennis Rodman.
every wrestler. The 80s and the
Remember the
90s.
T-shirts. Yeah.
Well, there was also different NWOs too, because there was NWO Black and White, NWO Black and Red. Later, when NWO didn't mean anything anymore,
Right.
there was the NWO Silver and Black. There's NWO Pink and Black.
Which one was the one that Cyclops led, and which one was the one that Storm led?
Yeah, there's gold and blue.
Yeah, that was NWO Blue and NWO
Okay.
Gold.
Okay.
They all have Wolverine in it
Yeah, he does whatever he wants.
every time.
But Wolverine with no body hair.
Ooh.
Freshly shaven Wolverine.
So I think it was NWO, right? Like where all the most annoying kids in middle school would do the crotch chop. I mean, the suck it thing.
No,
Is
that was
NWO, I think?
Degeneration X.
Oh, okay.
That was like the people that like the NWO, but
Right.
not as much as they like watching WWE stuff. Because it was the same people that were fans of both. Because
Right. Yeah.
the guys in Degeneration X largely were friends with the guys who founded NWO.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah.
they're just like, we're gonna get paid more if we each work in separate
Yeah.
companies.
Yeah. Makes
Mhm.
sense.
I mean, I can't fault that logic.
Yeah.
That-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, Rory, I did want to say that noting that there is a tag rope, that is a great catch because
Yeah.
that is actually part of the tag rules. You are supposed to be holding onto the rope. If you let go of it, your tag is no longer legal. So if you like move too far where you can't hold the rope anymore when you're trying to get the tag and you don't have the rope, then they're going to say no tag. You got to get back on the outside.
Oh.
I wonder how often
Should
that's
be-
enforced.
It used to be something that was universally used and often mentioned, and now you see certain teams still do it, but very rarely is it even mentioned. Like
It's only mentioned when FTR is wrestling, basically.
right. I was going to say those guys are. You see, that's what I like about them. They do it the right way.
hmm The tag rope thing, the fact that that's a rule, I didn't know that until there was this wrestler named Eddie Guerrero, where one of his gimmicks was that he would cheat a lot, but he would cheat in such a lovable manner that no one would hold it against him.
It's a
So
scam.
like, yeah, so when he's holding the tag rope and he needs to make the tag and his partner can't get close enough to him, he would go to the corner and he would untie the rope and hold the rope in his hand and move to the other side of the ring to tag. And when the ref's like, but you can't do that. You need to be holding the rope. And he's like, I got the rope right here. The ref's like, no, it needs to be tied to the corner. So he goes back to the corner and he ties it and he acts like everything's totally fine. But he would always be doing stuff like that. And everyone's just like, I can't be mad at him for cheating.
Yeah. He had that. He just had that smile, that golden smile. That's why I think Ethan Page could use a run like that, where he just ruins people's lives by cheating, but then just does that like perfect, beautiful smile afterwards.
For a second, I thought you were talking about Vince's project in WWE. The other smiley guy.
Theory.
Yeah, that guy's smile is not angelic; it's demonic.
It is, but
He has more teeth than humans are supposed to have.
Speaking of smiles, I finally figured out Remy Zayn is the love child of Seth Rogen and Richard Kind.
Yes. Also, Remy Zayn is our friend that hosts trivia.
Mhm.
I think his
did I
cousin's
say Remy
Sami
Zayn?
Zayn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
that man is not my friend.
But I'm having to fight myself
Just joking.
tagging him in all of our posts about Sami Zayn. Yeah.
Have you been tagging him in every post?
No,
about Sami
I
Zayn?
want to, and I go, I probably should.
That's
You know what's funny, though?
hilarious.
What's funny though is I see Richard Kind in Sammy and Remy Zayn.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I don't
can see
see I don't see both of them in both of them, but I do see Richard Kind in both of them.
Well, Richard Kind had illegal love children with lots of different people. So we just got to find the other one that Remy has.
Oh, that's who Richard Kind is.
Oh,
I was kind of confused because I thought he was the guy that drew like the animal books where like all the animals are running around, but that's Richard Scary, not Richard Kind.
it's like the
Well, he
opposite of
also-
Richard Kind.
He also often gets, also unfortunately, in my opinion, often gets mistaken for Richard Karn of Home Improvement fame.
Mm.
Yeah, similar ages, also sitcom guys. I can see that.
Although Remy is the descendant of a celebrity. Cesar Romero was his.
Wow.
Who was Cesar?
For the Joker.
His
He was
uncle?
Remy's great uncle, I believe.
Great uncle.
Nice.
And I unfortunately was the one that had to tell Remy about all the famous Hollywood stories I've heard about his great uncle that he somehow never heard about growing up.
Yeah, you had to tell him. Yeah,
Is that why you're not friends?
No. We're still friends. But he was like, I didn't tell him the whole thing, but I was just like, apparently he had a thing for like fresh produce and like, young men and young like not underage, but a lot younger than him, and orange slices. From what I hear.
Slices.
Oh, I thought when you said
Yeah,
fresh
breakfast
produce
supper
and young men, I thought you meant like
Zucchinis.
when I say fresh produce, I mean 19-year-old fruits.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh.
It works both ways. But yeah, I felt bad telling him, but I was like, I have to tell you. It's been on my mind, Remy.
Look, someone needs to tell
Every
you.
time, yeah. Every time I think about sex with a young man, I keep thinking of you, Remy. And I have to let you know. Like, I get it off my chest.
Whenever I'm eating oranges and having sex with young men, which happens all the time,
I can't be the only one thinking about this every time someone mentions gay sex.
With the Joker. This Joker movie's coming out, and this is all I can think of. I gotta.
only when I'm eating oranges, guys. I keep. God, I'm not
Yeah, it's not every time he's having gay sex. It's just
Yeah.
when it's happening at the same time as oranges.
Thank you. Rory gets it.
I mean, I have specific foods for specific fantasies as well. So
Oh yeah.
Yes.
One of
we
the
all
most
do.
important steps.
And-
that's
Such
that's
as?
why I don't eat bologna anymore.
My problem with bologna was I couldn't find one that wouldn't immediately, like, I like to get a few thrusts before it goes through and just
Oh yeah, it's a very soft.
the
it
one.
isn't
You got to try the bologna loaf.
Mm.
Yeah.
That'll last longer.
Like that weird Russian bologna with the smiley face on it.
Or cottage roll.
Mm.
Cottage roll.
But bologna loaf has kind of like a firmer consistency than like a thing of liverwurst, which I also can't have sex with because that was my grandma's favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so let's know in the chat what your grandma's favorite
Sex food.
sex
Is-
food is. Yeah. This is that Russian
Grandma's
bologna I was
favorite.
talking about.
God.
Yeah, there it is. You won't be
That's a-
silent
that's
for
a-
long, much longer, little buddy.
About
I just
to turn to a
like
surprise.
if you needed something that just proves that there's something wrong with Russia, it's the fact that they put a face on their bologna so they can skull fuck their own lunch meat.
Oh wait, that was a picture. I thought that was the picture of Natalia emoting.
If there were two
Natalia
more bologna loaves, then yes.
looks scared. I know.
Okay, so our main match of the night was Adrian Neville versus Sami Zayn. Two best friends, or close friends, I guess. Fighting
Yeah,
over
there
know-
was a lead into the main event where they were getting interviewed and talking about how, Sammy just doesn't have what it takes to win. Like he lacks like a killer instinct. He plays by the rules, and Neville will do what it takes to win. And he doesn't dislike Sammy, but he just doesn't think that Sammy has the guts to do whatever it takes. And it's an interesting story that they're telling about why he's not able to win, because watching the match, you're just like, yeah, this absolutely it is his match to win.
Yeah, he's kicking ass the whole time. This is similar to like the what we saw at the takeover at the fatal four way.
Mhm.
He was about to win, and then somebody
When
yanked the-
Neville pulled the referee out of the
Yeah.
ring.
yeah, he was getting robbed by Neville.
Which I feel like there's two suspensions of disbelief that like really shook me going into this match. The one, and it's always a problem whenever Neville is a person,
Mhm.
because they keep saying Neville, and I keep thinking Longbottom, and I'm just like, a Harry Potter themed character would be so great for this, and then I'm just kind of sucked out of the match. And then the other thing is when they said that he's 195 pounds,
Mhm.
and like that guy must have like inflatable muscles if he's like that jacked and only 195 pounds. Like, what kind of bird bones did they shove in that
Yeah.
dude?
There's Neville Longbottom for everybody. Yeah, he's
He's not-
surprisingly acrobatic for how big he is. I guess he's not really that heavy.
Yeah.
So that's strange.
He's very
It
well, he's
must
very
be
short
bird
too.
bones. That's why they call him the man that gravity forgot, because gravity forgot how weight is supposed to work.
Right? Yeah.
He's
Like-
very compact though. For I mean, as far as the wrestler goes, he's got to be what, like, I don't know, 5'9" or something, Chad.
He's
Oh,
5'8".
Wow.
He's 5'8".
Wow.
5'8",
I looked it
okay.
up last night. Yeah, like, so he's as tall as me and David, and
Yeah.
he only weighs
He's
like,
much wider, though.
Yeah.
but he only weighs like 20 more pounds than me.
I mean, well, your and David's dick's probably heavier than his.
He's got a
Maybe
little dick. That's why.
he's got a tiny dick. That's why he's a bastard. Now he should his gimmick.
Yeah.
He's not known as the bastard. By the way, do we know why his name is Pac now, Chad? Like, I never like.
That's
why
what
is
his
it?
name was before he joined.
Oh, was that
WWE.
his? Okay, but it's just not a very.
I don't know what the
His name is
origin of the name is.
his name is just Pac now, David, and it's like
Oh.
Pop, like Tupac.
Right.
Or like
but
Pac-Man.
everybody, yeah, but I don't understand
Wasn't there
why.
an X-Pac? That's a guy.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, there was an X-Pac. Yeah, that's why I personally wouldn't have gone with that name if I was him, because that's who I think of every time I hear Pac in wrestling, or every time I see PAC. But I mean, he's a great wrestler. I think he's still one of the best wrestlers in the world on any given night.
Oh yeah, I love watching him doing all those jumps and flips and stuff. It's cool.
He does
I
have Harry
just-
Potter ears.
I just thought of a terrible gimmick.
What's that?
Korean wrestler called K-Pac. K-Pac. Damn it, fucked it up.
That's too
It's
close
like
to
real
K-Pax.
Yeah.
And that movie
Really?
started. Wasn't that Kevin Spacey? So we don't really
Yes.
too close to Kevin Spacey material. We can't,
Yeah.
especially not in the WWE where nobody does any sexual improprieties.
Yeah.
They just yell at
I
each
mean,
other.
we just can't talk about it unless we get some orange slices.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right?
And no museum for
Where's that gimmick?
Oh, so I looked it up, and still don't know what the origin of the name Pac is, but his name is Neville in WWE
Hmm.
as a tribute to Neville Staple from the Specials.
Oh wow.
So Sammy is not the only ska fan in the main event. It's
That's
actually
funny.
a second wave versus third wave ska war.
Yeah, it's actually.
I am
That
so
is
much more
pretty
invested now.
Yeah, because
I know,
Sami
why
Zayn
did-
loves stuff.
Yeah, they should have used that, man.
So this is close friends.
Did you guys ever see a? Because I was surprised. I had an article approved that I just finished writing today. Do you guys ever went to like a ska show in the '90s and somebody would have like a Domino's shirt on, like a Domino's uniform on?
Yeah.
Domino's Pizza.
Yeah, it happened like a lot. I mean, it happened a lot here. Rory's seen it. So yeah, I wrote a pitch for Hard Times. It was just like a opinion piece about a guy that went to a ska show, and he's like, ha 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 ha. This guy just came to a ska show wearing a Domino's uniform. The most awesome thing I've ever seen. And they actually picked it up. So
Nice.
I
Congratulations.
had fun writing that. I basically just wrote about all the weird shit I've seen at ska shows from that perspective.
Nice.
But I think I was that guy once, by the way, because I worked at Domino's when I first went to ska show.
Started.
Yeah, I'm the guy.
Guy.
I
Yeah.
do feel like ska kids are just drama kids that can't act.
Oh yeah.
There's not really a whole lot of difference there.
Yeah, it's all theatrical. I mean, like Aquabats, Skank and Pickle used to, do the Hulk Hogan thing, like basically like do a fake wrestling match on stage. The Bosstones have a hype man just jumping around like an idiot. All that, there's so many.
Man,
Also,
I
forgot
forgot
about
the
this.
first time I saw the Aquabats. It was at a punk show, and they were opening, and like I showed up to see the punk show, and then the Aquabats came on, and I was like, I had no idea that this was about to happen,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure what I'm watching. Like I don't, because like if you haven't ever seen or heard of the Aquabats, like when you see them and like their production quality and everything, like you're like, are these a local band that I've just somehow managed to miss, or are they someone?
Yeah, and if you want to know what my whole vibe is, it's the Aquabats. It's what I want out of life. It's just to be the Aquabats.
And goals.
Yeah, so
Even
I'm very
like,
jealous that you guys see them.
When I saw Less Than Jake the first time, I didn't know what they looked like. I had heard their music, but I didn't know what they looked like. The lead singer came out. He just looked like a metalhead from like the '80s. He had like long black hair. And he was wearing a shirt, and his pants were like garbage bags. I think his pants were just like two huge garbage bags, and he the first thing he did was like a death metal scream, and then they rocked out the first song. And then after a couple of songs, I realized, oh, he's wearing a getup. But I'm like, that's like a wrestling thing where you're like, is that it kind of like screws with your head at first, and then you're like, oh, it's like the rope-a-dope, like I'm already on board.
Like a magic show.
I feel like the Aquabats in this photo look like the villains to the Blue Man Group.
Yeah. That's a good way to describe them.
That's great. That's awesome.
Who was talking about Pac's name and why he shouldn't have it because it reminds him of Six Pack?
David brought up the X-Pac thing, and then I said that I don't like it because I think that's what I think of when I hear it. Yeah.
He was Six Pack before he found out about Six Pack.
But his was a vanity thing, right? Because he had a 6-pack of abs, I'm assuming.
Yeah, he's had abs since he was a child.
Wait, that's the little kid. That's the little bodybuilder kid, right? From the. He looks kind of like that kid.
Are you talking about
That's like
the?
I've never clicked it, but I say at least once a month I get one of those stupid clickbait things that says that little bodybuilder kid, you won't believe what happened to him when he grew up. But I won't click
Apparently,
it.
he grew up and gravity forgot about him.
Hey.
Yeah.
Just like how Turtle Boy grew up and became Darby Allin.
Yeah. That's funny. He loves
that?
turtles.
The kid with the skull face paint that says "I like turtles." There's a wrestler where half his face is skull face paint, and he's this skinny little goth kid that skateboards, and everyone's just like, "Oh, he's Turtle Boy. He's a turtle kid,
You,
kid that
you. I
likes
mean,
turtles."
you and David and Rory like punk music, so you'll probably get his name. His name is Darby Allin, Allin. So it's like Darby Crash / Gigi Allen.
Hmm.
Oh, nice.
It's a pretty I just wish there was a wrestler called GG Crash now, because I think that would be a cool name for a wrestler. They could have a war. GG Crash versus Darby Allin. There he
Well,
is.
his ex-wife is Gigi Dolan.
It's true. What is her name now?
Gigi Dolan,
Is she still going by that name?
I think so.
Isn't she in NXT now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why that's her name.
Oh, I thought. Well, she had a different name before then. I don't think she had that name. I don't know. I thought she had changed her name at some point, but
She was Priscilla Kelly when she
There you
was
go.
wrestling on the Indies, because that's her name, like
Oh.
her actual
Oh.
name, her shoot name.
Yeah, if you wrestle under your real name in the WWE, they don't get to own that, right?
Oh, they'll make you change your name.
They just want you to do it. Makes sense.
Unless you somehow get like grandfathered in under one of those weird like, no one's gonna care about this guy's name. We'll be fine if we don't copyright him and change his name. Like what happened to CM Punk.
No.
He's like one of the few guys where he's actually very successful, and WWE's like, should have made him change his name, but we didn't.
I feel like any organization that forces you to change your name that you start working for them is an organization that you should really think twice about joining.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
that's just historically that doesn't go over well. I'm just
Some occult stuff.
I 100% agree with you. However, people don't technically join WWE because they're considered to be independent contractors. So WWE is never forced to give them any kind of benefits.
Yep.
that makes me feel so awful for watching this now.
Oh no! WWE is hugely exploitative.
Yeah, it's the higher
yeah, they're
trash.
they just speaking of trash. That good segue. Good segue builder there, Joe. Because I was just going to bring up that another example of the kind of shit that they pull is when Mickie James recently was not renewed at WWE. They put all her belongings in a giant garbage bag and just that's how they sent her on her way. They just left all her shit in the garbage bag.
These WWEs ain't loyal.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that what happens at work? Like when you get fired, just put it all
Yeah. They just kick you in the balls and throw your shit out on the sidewalk.
on the street. Just loose on the ground.
Give you a watch and tell you, "Robot took your job, Daddy."
Surprised there's no wrestlers union.
Oh, every
Is that a
time
really
that
hard thing to-
people talk about that, WWE fires everyone who talked to the person who said it. Like, you don't have to be the one
Oh,
who mentioned it. If you were in the room with him while he was talking, they'll fire you.
So it's literally a toxic thing to do. Like if you do foreboding.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Like the
And-
only wrestler who can talk about unions and still have any connection with WWE is Jesse the Body Ventura.
Oh.
And that's because I don't think Vince thinks he can get anything done.
He talks about all kinds of stuff. He just
Yeah.
just goes on.
That would be a great shtick as your wrestler, though. Is just be like, I'm gonna be the wrestler that's in support of unions. Like that's my gimmick. Just like subtly go on under the radar there.
Mm-hmm. Like
That would
you
actually-
just walk around talking about workers' rights.
Yeah. That's
That'd
not
be
the
the
hippie guy.
perfect. That'd be the perfect Sami Zayn gimmick, I think.
That would be
Like
a good
he's-
evolution of what he's already doing.
Yeah.
The conspiracy. Okay.
It would be funny if it would make a group of fans to actually call for an actual unionization effort too.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they were. They were kind of teasing like a joke thing with Daniel Bryan when he had the Yes Movement thing going on. How they were going to have like a rally, like a fake rally. But I was like, that actually would be a good idea to have just one night you show up to a wrestling arena and it's like been bought out by all Daniel Bryan fans, and they're all holding yes signs. It's like we're starting a union with Brian Daniel or that Brian. Sorry, I keep saying his name wrong because his name is Brian Danielson. So WWE is like, hey, Daniel Bryan, huh? Because it's like your name, but like the other way around. We just take this like.
This is how we copyright your name.
Yeah.
By flipping it.
People know exactly. We just want to make sure people know exactly who you are in case it wasn't clear.
And
Oh,
he
so
went
if you
by
ever
that
leave,
for
you
like
can't-
11 years.
Yeah.
And now he can't walk backwards because then he'd be using his name.
Yeah. Definitely can't look in the mirror. Otherwise it'll be there.
So sad.
Yeah, so Sami Zayn does lose this match because his Neville hurts his knee, right? And the ref is like checking on him, and he's putting the X up and telling Sami Zayn to stay back. And then when he gets close enough to check on his friend, he gets grabbed and pinned. And then the commentators are like, "Yeah, you can't have any mercy. You have to just go in there and win the championship or whatever." Is that what you're supposed to do in that situation? It's like just knock the ref out of the way and then pin the guy, even if he's seriously injured. Is that what they're implying we're supposed to
If
do?
he's injured enough, the ref should call the match.
Yeah. What does that X mean that he's doing?
The X means he's really injured, except that the X is used for fake injuries so much now that it's like he's really injured, except he's not really injured, except sometimes he is really injured.
Yeah, that's exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself.
So it's just it just happens to be that Sami Zayn knew going into that match that there's going to be that injury happening, so he knew not to actually hurt anybody.
The thing about it, though, that I really liked about the way that they told the story is that afterwards Neville doesn't like spring to his feet and be like, "Ha, I got you." Like he continues like lying on the ground holding his knee, and he's like, "Ah, man, I'm sure glad that I got to squeak out that win, but man, my knee really hurts. Can we get a trainer over here to look at my leg?"
You gotta sell it.
This was the match too that they like hugged it out afterwards, right? Like
he hugged Sammy, and Sammy just continued to have a weird 1,000-yard stare.
He's constantly just getting robbed.
Like he just looked like he was not sure whether to be upset or sad or murderously angry or what.
Yeah, all kinds of feelings going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll see his revenge next week.
I'm looking forward to it.
I think that there was a I don't remember if it was in the lead up to this match or if it was in the lead up to the Fatal 4-Way match that we watched last week. There was a clip of the previous match that Sammy had lost to Neville, where afterwards Neville went for the handshake. Sammy kicked his foot out of the way and hugged him.
Maybe that's what I'm
yeah.
thinking. Yeah. So.
But yeah, this one, Sammy did not look into the hug at all.
Oh.
Trade. But he did one of those things that I like to see, and I see it a few times when someone gets when they're getting pinned or they're getting like picked up to get suplexed or something, or to sell it how much they're struggling to kick their little feet. I really like that. It's pretty fun.
Oh, little feet kicking in the air.
Yeah.
I feel like anytime you see somebody's feet kicking in the air, it immediately like adds gravity to the situation and makes you want to laugh. Where it's like,
Yeah.
their little feet are going, and you're just like, oh, they're in a lot of trouble. But how adorable are they right now?
Look at
I
how
picture some really
powerless
funny-
they are.
Like I feel that way every time I watch somebody get hanged in a movie. Like their feet are kicking, and it's like, oh, this is serious. They're gonna die, but it's still cute.
It's cute right
Little
up until the
legs
feet
kicking.
stop kicking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then
That ruined.
you
That was ruined.
Yeah.
The crowd's laughing there. We'll go.
Like, let him breathe a little bit so he kicks longer.
Let him get his bearings. All right, yeah, he's kicking again.
Put a little slack in the rope.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna kill you. It's gonna take a while, so it's funnier.
Yeah. We gotta get
If
our
you
maximum entertainment value.
We're gonna put the soundtrack to Benny Hill in the background. Go as long as you need.
Yeah, we'll have the yakety sax playing, and maybe like 3 seconds before you die, can you say, "I'm kicking here"? Hey, I'm kicking here, and then just croak after that. It'll be great, trust me.
Okay, so yeah, that's this whole episode. Next week we're doing.
Next week is going to be another live special episode, so it's
Ooh.
2 hours long. This one is going to be Takeover R Evolution. When I say R, I mean the letter R, not O-U-R. So it's like Revolution, but with the space between the R and the E. Again, WWE branding, weird. But it's
I was
Takeover
really
R
hoping for
Evolution.
pirates.
It's December 11th, 2014. I believe is the date for
Chad,
that.
Chad, come on. You got to give them credit for at least coming up with a genius name for the brand, NXT. They took the word next and then took the E out of it. And that's how they named the thing.
Well,
that's how we do magic here, folks.
to be fair, eventually they actually got to the point where NXT as a brand, it was like WWE with the E removed, because the E in WWE stands for World Wrestling Entertainment, as in sports entertainment, and the NXT Black and Yellow era, like everyone thinks about that as like the no sports entertainment. It's the alternative, right up until AEW came out and people were like, oh, an actual alternative.
Right? Yeah.
Yes,
I feel like if they had opted for taking the X out, they might have gotten more like crossover fans from basketball.
Yeah.
Which I would say would also be another fun, crazy matchup, is if they had to play another sport while wrestling.
Yeah.
Like if it was a game of like one-on-one street ball.
There's a Russian wrestling basketball league. Let me see if I can find a clip.
You know, Chad, if you want to make fun of me, make fun of me. But like, if you're gonna point out that my ideas have been had by Russians, like they skull fuck baloney.
You guys remember the show Mutant League? That was a cartoon.
Yeah,
like the monsters
yeah.
would play sports.
Yeah.
You know what they should do is not just combine wrestling with basketball, but do you remember the basketball league that was just trampolines and basketball?
You're right.
Oh yeah.
You're right.
Oh my God! If they did that with wrestling and the whatever that was called, slam ball or
That
I forget
sounds
what it was
familiar.
called.
You you would pick up the way you win is you have to pick up the person and slam.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
called. It's already called slap ball. It's like perfect.
Yeah, it's Mutant League.
It had a
Nice.
video game and everything.
Oh man, you guys just made me like we're talking about wrestling. You talked about brought in Mutant League, and now all I want to do is watch American Gladiator. Like when I was a kid, I wanted to play that one where they shot at you with tennis balls while you tried to shoot the target. That's all I wanted out of life. Was just that to be recess.
I'm gonna turn the volume down. Let's talk over some Russian basketball wrestling.
Russian basketball wrestling. He's done enough damage to basketball.
Singlets.
Well, at
I
least
love
there's like less flopping.
Yeah.
I love how they're.
Oh,
I love how they don't seem to care much about the basketball part. They're all horrible. They're just full of basketball.
Oh yeah, there's no dribbling involved in this. It's just running around,
This
throwing each other, and occasionally tossing a ball in the air.
it looks like they're
Yeah. It sucks that you're falling on the basketball court.
uh-huh.
Get
wait
knocked
no
over.
wait it's just a regular.
Looks like it.
Yeah, that looks
Yeah.
like a
Wait, it's
regular
not padded. Wait,
No,
it's
I
not
don't think so.
padded. Oh god.
No. Well, they're not doing like WWE moves, but still, it
Yeah,
hurts.
but entire game of getting slammed on the boards. Oh,
Yeah.
You guys got to remember though that these guys are Russian, so when they fall on grass, it's just that frozen saw blade. Like,
The
they're
frozen
used to
tundra.
that shit. Yeah,
Yeah, there is no comfortable place to fall in Russia.
they're just
Russia
glad that there's
falls-
someplace with heat.
And Russia all falls nasty.
And the losing team will probably be executed.
Yeah.
So did they not go with the obvious name of rugby ball?
Most of the things that I found call it rest ball with a W.
Oh.
And
Yeah,
it's
because
like,
without the W, that sounds kind of boring.
Should have called it wrestle ball.
Yeah.
mhm.
no goat.
I do like rugby ball.
Yeah, that is
Yeah,
the better
okay.
name.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But like,
I love how
because
this-
it's Russian, the B is probably backwards.
I love how-
Rug ball.
Oh, there we go, rug ball. They
I love
got
how they've been
close.
showing. They've been showing like 3 minutes of this crap, this crazy shit, and the voiceover guy was just like, they don't even do free throws, which sounds crazy. I'm like, oh, that doesn't sound that crazy. All this other shit's pretty crazy, but I can wrap my head around the concept that they don't have fouls and the free throws.
What's crazy is they're doing this in a high school gym.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. Poor,
I'm sure that you would want to do this on the smallest possible.
Oh my god.
court you can. Like
He
I don't
hit
want to do
tossed
this
it.
on a pro-sized court.
you're in gym class. Poor little Timmy in gym class the next day slips on a puddle of blood and breaks his neck.
Oh,
Yeah, it's better than slipping on a puddle of mud and then
Yeah.
What's the song?
Oh man, you haven't seen my. I have a puddle of mud joke in my stand-up comedy set, David. It's about the. I don't know if you've ever seen the lead singer of Puddle of Mud like lose his shit on stage, but it's happened multiple times, where he just like gets drunk and sad and starts yelling at the crowd. So I just kind of do that. I just kind of talk about that, and then I say like
Yell at the crowd.
20 years from now, he's just going to be in his yard, still thinking he's on stage, and he's just like, I'm Puddle of Mud. Like, he doesn't even say his own name anymore. He just calls himself Puddle of Mud.
Yeah.
I'm
Whenever
Puddle of
anyone
Mud.
sees them at the airport, they just shout puddle of mud at them.
And he's constantly has a hose on his yard, so it's like there's always a puddle of mud there. And he gets mad when people step on it. And like, that's my puddle of mud. But yeah, one of the funniest things I've ever seen is the lead singer of Puddle of Mud was so drunk that his band left him on stage. His own band walked out on him. and he just stayed there for an extra 10 minutes. Yeah.
What a trooper.
I mean, he's
What-
trying to get
what
that
a-
post energy.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that
Yeah, so I know we were talking before about our schedule for the month. There's 5 Mondays in
Yes, there is one more Monday
August. Yeah.
where I don't have anything scheduled. I was trying to figure out what exactly we wanted to watch for the last week,
Mhm.
based on the way that you guys take all of the matches that we've watched so far. Because the thing is, uh, if we had uh, access to every event that WWE's ever had for
Right.
NXT, the final episode would be Takeover Dallas, which is Sami Zayn's final match with NXT.
Ah.
Hmm.
However, that is not available on Hulu. I would have to
Okay.
get Peacock in order to watch that, and I don't
Fair.
want to give WWE money.
that's fair.
Well, and you can go to the money is mostly going to NBC. Yeah, yes, it's Peacock, right?
I mean, like
Yeah.
money
Yeah.
that NBC's already paid WWE, so technically my money's not paying them, but you
Yeah,
understand
yeah,
what I
you're still contributing to it.
Yeah.
Well, Chad, it seems how you've been letting me use your Hulu for years now.
Allegedly.
I do have a P-Kick. I have a P-Kick password if you want to use my P-Kick password. So let me know if you want to use my P-Kick.
Do you guys want to watch Takeover Dallas and see Sami Zayn's last match for the 29th?
I don't know if I have Peacock, but I
Oh,
will check, and if so, yeah.
We'll get
Johnny's
into it.
been
You
Johnny
guys can
is
use my
offering.
you guys can use my P-Kick.
All right.
Yeah. Well, we'll go over to your house and watch it together.
I mean, I would rather watch rugby wrestling or rugby basketball, but you know,
Yeah.
The other thing that we could do is we could also uh, we could play Rumbleverse next week.
Yeah.
Ooh,
That's what I was thinking about.
what is that? Is that on?
That is on PC, PC, PlayStation, and Xbox.
Okay.
But that is a free-to-play brawler, free-to-play battle royale that's melee-based combat because it's
Oh, okay.
wrestling themed.
I'm down to check that out. Just period.
Yeah. I'll just put it in the background while we're talking.
Yeah,
The
this
trailer.
is
Yeah.
the trailer for it.
But I will say that like the wrestling battle games have always been, for me, like the only time that I've ever actually like enjoyed wrestling was
Mhm.
just because like it's not scripted, like so they are really good battle things. So
Yeah.
Yeah, wrestling games are like light fighting games, basically,
yeah,
with
Yeah.
deep character creation.
and me personally, I like light fighting games more than I like the ones where you have to memorize a 20 code thing to win all the time. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even more than that nowadays, like you have to think about frame rates and what kind of input lag you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really matters,
Yeah.
especially at the higher levels. And this, I like this. There's a lot of furry options, which is nice. It's like something we can explore.
That's all right. I'm down to do this.
Okay. We'll figure out how to do that.
yeah.
I'll have to figure out OBS. We'll do that.
Who has a PlayStation?
I think I'm going to download it on Steam and just get it off my computer. I think.
You have to
maybe-
get it on the Epic Store for PC.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Is it cross-platform?
It's
Okay, cool.
cross-platform and cross-progression, so you can actually go back and forth between like PlayStation and PC if you want, or PlayStation, Xbox, so on and so
Cool.
forth. The only thing about it is that it is it's either solo or duo. Like they don't have a trios option yet.
Oh,
So we'll have to figure out how to do that.
So it would be like at most 2 of us playing at the same time.
2 of us play, the other ones commentate.
Ooh, that's
Like
fun.
a real wrestling match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do either of you guys want to come on to guest commentate with us?
August 20.
I don't even know. I have no idea what my schedule is. So
Yeah, we'll keep in touch with you.
if I'm available, I will be there. If not, then I won't. But yeah.
If my mic is better, then yes.
Okay. So as you're saying that, your mic is literally cutting out half of what you said. They're like,
And also totally not synced with your mouth either.
Chat, or Joe, just send us your address. We'll all chip in and buy you a mic.
yeah.
We'll get you a good over-the-ear headset.
It's like a
One's
nice
sitting
component
around.
to speak into.
I just gotta set it up.
Cool. Yeah, so we'll figure out all the technical difficulties and we'll make it happen. I don't know if you guys know Joe and Sparkles because you haven't been on the show since we started the new format, but it's called This Sucks, Change It, where we watch a show until one of us says, "Hey, this kind of sucks, change it." We'll
Until
watch
2 of
something
us
different.
say that this sucks.
2, yes. 2 of us, that's the new rule.
So it's like Beavis and Butthead inspired.
That's where we got the name from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're going to find a clip of that to play when one of us is the button. For both of us. But yeah, spoiler alert, I don't think we're going to keep watching this show next month. Even though I don't think it sucks, but I do think that it doesn't.
So I feel like
I'll give you a.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say a good example of it doesn't suck, but I'm a huge wrestling fan, and I lost interest with NXT many times. Not for anything they really did, but I'm a very sporadical. There's usually like when Kevin Owens started showing up, I kind of got into it again, and then I lost interest again. Then maybe like a couple years ago, something weird happened where I started watching it. Like I was bored out of my mind for an extra 12 hours a day, like in 2020. I probably got into it a little bit around then, but yeah, it's yeah, crazy year.
Yeah.
No, but even as a wrestling fan, like it hasn't. Yeah, that was the year I fucked Rudy Gobert, and I had COVID, and I fucked Rudy Gobert, and I gave everybody got COVID after that.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, even when it doesn't hold my interest, even as a wrestling fan, I can't blame anybody else for being like, yeah, I like it, but I don't know if it has me. Like it has.
I feel like I've watched just enough of it now to be able to say that when I'm sitting down and watching it, it's not like I'm not entertained.
Right.
Even if it's just like me joking around with whoever I'm watching it with, I can be entertained watching it that way. But it's never like I'm looking forward to watching it, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah.
So
here's a good gauge as to how much you like or don't like something. Like if you like David, Rory, Joe, I don't know how many of these have you been on, Joe?
This is the first one for the rest.
Oh, okay. So, well, then go fuck yourself. This is for David and Rory only.
I mean, to be fair, this is the third one.
Yeah.
So there's an example, another example of how it doesn't really hold one's attention. He doesn't even remember watching 3 times. No, but
No. I mean, like David and Rory have only been watching 3 times.
Yeah, we've watched 3 times as many as Joe has.
Yeah. They're veterans. They're like Joe's like NXT and David and Rory are WWE Hall of Famers. Anyway, like have you watched it enough to based on how much you have watched, if you were in an airport and Sami Zayn walked by, would you get a little bit of like, ooh, that's Sami Zayn? Or would you be like, oh, that's Sami? Like, how would you react?
But that's only because Sami Zayn is already my favorite wrestler because he was the Sky guy.
Oh. Well, what about like, what if like, one of the announcers walked by, would you be like, I don't know?
I probably wouldn't recognize the announcers. I think if any of the wrestlers that I recognize walked by, I'd be like, hey, that's kind of cool. Because, like, as much as I don't, like, as I'm not, like, fully committed to the plot or whatnot, I do think the physical sport entertainment that they're doing is pretty cool. Like I have respect for them as performers for what it is that they're doing, even if I'm not like super into watching it being done. Like I think I'd feel the same way if seeing Sami Zayn as if I saw like Mariah Carey, where it's like, oh, I don't really enjoy your music, but I know you're good at it.
Right.
Like, and I think I enjoy wrestling more than I enjoy Mariah Carey, because like if wrestling was on, I wouldn't be like, oh, I think we should change it or watch anything else.
Right.
But like,
It's
And
not
that's-
like, oh God, it's the wrestling Christmas song.
yeah.
Well,
That's not me like taking cheap shots at Mariah Carey. I'm just saying like I'm not a fan. She's talented performer and whatnot.
Right.
I don't want to be on the internet just picking on people. But
Fan Force is coming for you, Rory.
Yeah. I think we're looking at
Sami Zayn is known as the Mariah Carey of wrestling. So
He really is.
odd that you.
He's ambiguously his race is ambiguous.
Yeah.
He's very clearly looks like Rory in his coloration, but he's Syrian, so you get to figure all and Canadian, so you figure all that stuff out.
And
You know, I
he's
always-
Mexican.
Yeah, Mexican.
Sometimes I think about.
I do feel like I just need to, because I am on the internet, point out that everybody's always like, oh yeah, you know, he kind of looks like Rory, but he's from the Middle East. And I'm like, I am Jewish. Like, that's where I'm supposely from.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, no. We're talking about the Middle East, not the Jewish place. Come on, we're talking about like
Where's the Jewish place? New York?
Yeah, I mean that's well, that's people. There are people that don't understand geography. They're just like no, you're Jewish. We're talking about the Middle East. Like,
That's different. Well, the terrorists. The Jewish place, I think that's a spin-off of The Good Place, but it's funny, but also something else. I don't know, I keep looking.
yeah.
it's funnier, but it's also Seinfeld.
Although I often think about how I would react if I saw a certain celebrity in public if I didn't care about them, and I in my mind I'm thinking like if I saw like Jake Paul or somebody, I'd be like, who cares? But I remember one time I was at the airport and like I spotted Newt Gingrich and I got like excited, even though I did not like Newt Gingrich. I was still like, ooh, I recognize the person.
Yeah. This was
Give me
before he became Speaker of the House or whatever.
I think it was when he was.
a
Speaker.
nobody.
I think it was while he was Speaker of the House. I can't remember, but I just love the how stupid human instincts are sometimes. It's just like your brain recognizes somebody you've seen on TV and like ooh, like I got excited, like a little jumps,
Like how many songs got played on the radio when you were in high school and you hated, thought it was stupid, but now you hear it and you go, oh, I kind of like the song, and actually you don't. It's just because you've heard it 1,000 times in the grocery store.
Yeah, or they make me cry like Creed,
I feel like the only celebrity that I ever like ran into and like got that moment of being like, hey, it's that celebrity, was when Luis Guzman went to Sol de Cuba while I was standing outside of the laugh track.
Right.
And I was he walked past the one time and I was like, I think that's Luis Guzman. And then he walked into Sol de Cuba and I was like, that's definitely Luis Guzman. And then he walked back out and I was like, I smoked like 5 cigarettes just so that I could still be here when you walked back.
the amount of fame someone needs to have to activate that thing in my brain is so low. Like, if I saw you on more than a handful of commercials, I'll be
Right.
like, ooh. Like, I haven't seen John Cummings in years, but I've
Right.
seen so many commercials that he's
It's
been on now.
true.
I'll be like, ooh, when I see John next.
Yeah.
Well,
You
dude,
know, that I
go
feel
ahead,
like it
Rory.
doesn't work quite that way though, because so I work for a company that has a couple of local comedians suddenly got picked up by them for their advertising,
Hmm.
Right.
and part of my job is to help people log into the website, and every time I'm like, fucking Clarice is just sitting on my computer. Um, like I went to a Texaco and I was like, Tamua here too? Like, God damn it. Going someplace else.
Yeah.
And they're great. I'm happy for them that they're
Yeah.
doing well, but like it's because I knew them before they
Mhm.
got. Now it's like, I know this guy. Don't try to sell me shit with his face.
I was mostly joking about John Cummings, but I fully understand where you're coming from, Rory.
Oh, dude, I get a freaking charge. Like, I used to when I was driving for Uber Eats. Like, I would see Reese Paul delivering mail like almost every day, and I would get my heart would start beating every time I drove by him. I'd be like, oh, this is just, like it's like I know I'm gonna probably see him. There's a good chance. We both drive around Kailua all day, but I'll still get like a little charge.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, so take a pictures with them when you see them. Yeah.
Out of,
I
out of
catch you guys.
curiosity,
Yeah.
what wrestlers do you think that you would be able to spot as they walk through an airport? Rory
Any
and
of the Lucha
Dave.
Dragons.
Yeah, any of the Lucha Dragons, as long as they're wearing
Yeah, but
their
but then that
highlighter
might
yellow pants.
It could be fake. We've already established it could be the fake Lucha Dragon.
Here's the thing, though, is Chad dropped some
Thank you.
knowledge on me
Yeah.
last week, or maybe it was David, that the mask is sacred. So it doesn't matter who's wearing the mask; they are still the Lucha Dragon.
Well, that's
Yeah, I
true. I
mean,
think.
there's been more than one Sin Cara.
Well, yeah, and I think Mil Mascaras was like, if he had been wrestling the whole time there was a Mil Mascaras, he would have been like 300 years old because it was like. It's like that can't be the same guy. I'm pretty sure the
like
original
Raja
one
Al
died.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like I would recognize Neville.
Hmm.
I may congratulate him for his victory at Hogwarts, but I would recognize him. Sami Zayn, I think I would, just being like, oh, Seth, you worked out. Now we don't look as much alike. That's great. I would like to say that guy whose name I cannot remember because they say it a couple of times and then he's out of the match. The guy that just came on from Japan.
Oh yeah.
Hideo Itami.
Hideo
Now
Itami.
Kenta.
Yeah. Him, I think I would recognize. And if I didn't like immediately place it, I'd be like, I recognize that guy from somewhere.
I know this Japanese guy is supposed to be famous.
Yeah.
Maybe
Super
not
muscular
here, but
Japanese
somewhere.
guy. Yeah.
And I think the lady that was on there last time, whose name I can't remember,
Bailey?
and the
Or
one she was
Charlotte.
fighting.
Oh, and Charlotte.
Yeah. Because
Charlotte would be a little bit harder to recognize because of plastic surgery since 2014,
okay.
but she mostly looks the same.
I could see Finn Balor being a guy that you would totally miss if you saw him in public because he can be very just normal looking when he's not, in the middle of a wrestling match. He's not a very like,
The moment
Yeah, if he has all the
drops
clothes on, you
something-
can't see all of the abs and his dick print. Because those are
And
the
he's not-
two most recognizable things about him.
and he's,
Yeah.
and he's not a
Like-
bad looking guy, but he doesn't have like striking features that are like, in your face, like, oh, I recognize that nose anywhere,
Yeah.
But if he like has to drop something or like go underneath something real quick, like out in public, you're gonna
Yeah.
catch that.
Once he spreads those wings, you're gonna.
Yeah.
Or if he accidentally rubbed his dick against your leg, like while he was reaching for something, you'd be like, I know that dick print looks familiar, sir.
I can tell you from experience, and it's a lot of it. You can't recognize people by the dick being rubbed on you. Like I have failed that quiz so many times.
If we can, then I'm in trouble. But,
Well, even if I do recognize it, I like to act like I don't. Like it's a little game. Like, ooh,
Yeah.
like whose dick was that?
you feel it again. It takes a few tries.
Oh no, it's a stranger's dick.
This
Yeah,
will be
you
fun.
Do you ever sit on your dick until it goes numb and then jerk it off so it feels like you're jerking off a stranger?
Did you guys see that thing, that like meme today of somebody did like
I'm gonna say real quick. I'm gonna cut you off here. I'm gonna say yes, David. I've done
Right.
that all the time, just because I want the internet to know that I can sit on my dick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Who doesn't?
Just maybe
No,
doing it
did
now.
you see that?
Yeah.
Have you seen that? Have you,
Can't everybody?
Right.
David?
It's totally normal. It's on.
David, you might have to pull this up, David. If you haven't seen it, I'm just gonna say there's the Eric Andre dick meme going around today. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't heard of it.
Go to Twitter and look it up. You'll probably. It's
Go
just
on Twitter and type Eric Andre's dick.
I bet you.
See what comes up.
I mean, I search for that daily. I actually have it set up on Google. It's a Google alert. I have a Eric Andre dick Google alert set up.
Remember
This
when
is
I
something-
said at the beginning of this that the stream was over because we couldn't agree on who was fucking over whose joke? This is what it comes to from not listening to me. You're looking up Eric Andre's dick on the recommendation of Sparkles.
Gotcha.
Oh.
You haven't found it, David? Or?
Oh. See people from
Uh,
February of 2021.
Try like Eric Andre art.
Oh well, if it's an art dick, then this stream just got classy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised that it wouldn't just show up even when you type in Eric Andre.
It was trending.
Look at Eric Andre here.
Because I've seen it. It showed up on like 3 different. Like people have been retweeting it a lot.
Oh. I think you and I just might be following different Twitter accounts where you get a lot.
Let me see if I can find it. I'll try and find it real quick and then I'll send it.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, I gotta find that dick.
Yeah.
Dude, I literally, I just typed in Eric Andre and it's the first thing that pops up. I don't.
Well, on Twitter,
No,
that's not what happened.
Let's see.
Yeah,
I think we've learned something about everybody's algorithms right now.
Yeah,
This is good Willie hunting.
the first thing that came
Well-
up when I typed in Eric Andre was the trailer for Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities.
So I'm gonna meet you for when the Sparkle Stevens.
Ooh,
What's that?
I'm gonna meet you for you to type. I think I can. It's causing wind on your mic.
Oh.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. I don't know. Didn't see it, but he just messaged me, so.
I wonder if he didn't actually message you the link, and he's just like, "Don't silence me."
I just messaged you, David. I messaged it to you.
I am a guest. How dare you?
Surprise.
No, I was yelling. I was like, "I'm looking for a dick for you." Okay, I'm looking for a dick for you.
Yeah.
How often? Oh,
Oh, what's up with that? Loud. It's from a video game?
somebody made it. I don't know if it's from an actual.
Oh my.
Oh, is he going to be on The Boys next season?
and it just kind of keeps looping
Okay.
from there. But yeah, there you go. That's been.
Go.
So he has definitely set on his dick.
I knew this is where
Everybody can
wrestling
sit on
was going to take us.
Yeah. Finally, something on Twitter that's worth looking at.
Other than my tweets, right, David?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that. Buddy, follow Sparkles on Twitter at.
I think
Sparkles.
it's Comedy Sparkles. No, Sparkles Comedy now. I think. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you keep changing it. It makes it harder.
Yeah, no, I mean that's what I'm a genius at marketing. So my thing is like once every few months change. Actually, I will say the only reason
genius branding.
Yeah, well, see, that's what I mean. I don't even know what it's called. I don't even know the proper term for it. That's how bad I am at it. But the main reason I changed it is because Johnny Sparkles, just Johnny Sparkles, has been taken since I started Twitter, and it has not been used in about 12 years. But Twitter will not release it.
They won't?
I've written letters to them. I've tweeted at them, and they still will not let it go.
Oh,
last time
you should report the account as being racist or something until they.
I think I did.
Take it down.
Johnny, you gotta, if you want to get a hold of Twitter, you have to send them a message on Facebook.
Oh shit! Damn it!
That's how they get you.
There's always a loophole.
When was the last time that you checked?
Maybe like a week or two ago.
Okay, because I'm finally at Chad Wago.
I think that's what reminded me. Yeah, that's what reminded me. I think to look at it because I saw your. Yeah.
Yeah, I finally defeated Chad Wagoner on the field of battle.
Yeah.
Wow,
And by the field of battle, I mean he just deactivated his Twitter account for a week, and I'm like, yoink!
So at Johnny Sparkles 1 is a topless woman, so that's cool.
Nice. Hell yeah. But yeah, Johnny Sparkles. I just checked, and it's still. Still being used.
Yeah.
And
Johnny Sparkles 69 is taken.
I don't think their tweets are even showing up anymore. That's how hard they haven't tweeted in so long that their tweets are empty.
It's on a server that turned to dust already.
Yeah. There are a few replies though. 2013 was the last time it was used for anything.
Yeah. So everybody tweet at Johnny Sparkles and tell them to give it up.
Yeah.
To our Johnny Sparkles.
Damn
straight. Does anything else you want to plug before we say goodnight to the internet?
My butt.
About Joe, are we plugging any of Joe's social media?
Yeah.
I have social media.
I don't know.
You don't?
Do you?
Oh.
And if you do you want it plugged?
You used to have a Twitter, but I don't think you use it.
I don't really use my Twitter or my Instagram. If anyone's gonna follow Imposters Theater, I guess, because that's what I'm in.
Cool.
But also I'm plugging that because I'm a shill for that. And by shill, I mean like that theater. So.
Okay.
It's weird. Your Twitter name used to be Audio Expert. I don't know. Was that like an irony?
Yeah.
Like an irony thing?
Imposters Theater. Yeah. So at Imposters Comedy.
If anybody wants to follow me, I get off of work at 5:30, and I'm not paying much attention. So
they just wait him out of the prison. They can just follow you.
Yeah. I wait until I'm at least halfway home before I do that, like video game stop, turn around and look a couple of times. So
it's pretty oblivious, pretty easy to follow.
Yeah.
All over blocks and blocks.
It's all part of my thing. I'm easy to follow, hard to catch.
Yeah. So this is on his Tinder bio.
Yeah.
Kind of a weird thing to say, I guess. I don't know. Oh, I was thinking about the other day is that I'm married. I've been married for years, 3 years now. But I never took down any of my online dating profiles from the various things. So I think I'm going to go in there, and if I can't delete the profiles, because they probably make it hard to do, I'm just going to turn them into an ad for this Twitch stream.
Nice.
I'm not looking for anybody to date, but come check us out twitch.tv/Apollo.
You know what you should do it just for fun is just make them like ghost accounts. Like you died, but now you're trying to date people from the other side. If you had the time, it would be so much fun to get that going.
That would be hilarious, but I do feel like I'm married, I'm not looking for anyone to date is not going to set you apart on most dating websites.
Yeah, because I'm just putting it out there, so at least it's one step up from most of them.
You should say you're a married ghost, and then they'll be like, "See, even ghosts still fucking cheating on their wives." Like, oh, you died, and so now you can just fuck around on your wife just because you fucking died. Right.
You could do a ghost. You could do a million spiders in a man suit.
Oh yeah.
Oops.
If you do a million spiders in a man's suit, you're going to get a lot more hits than you used to.
I think that's what I'll do. I'll take all my profile pictures and stuff and just replace my face with a spider's face.
You could be a wrestler and just every line in your bio is like a wrestler promo. Like, I'm gonna take you out this Saturday night at the Garden.
To talk about from this episode, we got a promo from the Vaudevillians. Are they the Vaudevillians or just the Vaudevillains?
Vaudevillains.
This should be Vaudevillians, right?
Which was which they should have been sued by MF Doom because that was the name of one of his famous one of his albums. Because he was actually the vaudevillain. One of his nicknames.
I only want to watch them wrestle if they come out and they are still black and white.
During their entrance, they are. But once the other team comes out, then everything's in color.
Right, yeah.
I want them wearing that full body makeup of just grayscale.
Yeah.
I want to say, like, of any of the wrestlers that I recognize him because everything would be in black and white when they come out. So.
Yeah. Or
I agree with Roy.
Yeah.
Or John Morrison used to have the slow motion where he looks like Jim Morrison, psychedelic intro. I thought it would have been fun. I thought it would have been fun to do that as a whole match too, just like the weird. It's weird because it's not really slow motion, but it looks slow motion. I don't know. I'm not a tech wizard.
It's a motion blur.
Yeah.
I'm not a tech wizard like Joe Lewis. You know, I don't know all that.
So I went to the AI people at crayon.com and asked them to show me a million spiders in a man suit, and this is what we got.
I don't think you quite understood.
Yeah, that's really good.
Wow. Terrifying.
It's probably a million spiders.
I feel like that's
Wow.
the one right there.
Yeah.
That's the next Jordan Peele movie right there.
A million spiders in a man suit.
I know I get so sad at the things that don't come out on there when I try to do them. Like I tried to do Pantera eating at Panera, and nothing came out.
Yeah, exactly.
Did the AI tell you to take a walk?
Yeah, take a walk. Taking a walk to Panera. You got to respect that.
Okay, one last thing to show everybody, and then we'll say goodnight.
Is it you sit on your dick?
No, I've been doing that this whole time because I'm gonna.
Oh, okay.
Once we
Awesome.
get off the stream, we're gonna immediately start turning off.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So there we go. Spiders, man. Thousands of spiders that believe they are feet apart here. 11580 times.
Absolutely terrifying.
Yeah. Hey, where'd it go? Okay, so we're gonna write out on this video of Vince McMahon running into the ring for Royal Rumble number 5 and tearing both his quads. This is
Number
not
5.
a gross thing to watch.
That seems really early.
Yeah, maybe this is just the 5th video in the series. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It's a very crude video.
Wow. Oh yeah, you can tell by looking at it. We're gonna wrap it on this. We'll see you all next week.
No chance. That's what you got.
Yeah. Oh, here he goes. Here he goes. Oh! Hearing your quads is to be real painful.
And
Mhm.
All right, everybody. Good night. We'll see you
at the
next